Hey guys, how's it going? This is Fabio coming back with another video. What I want to talk about in this particular video, guys, is dealing with industrial buildings or just the bigger accounts. You know, I mostly talk about getting the small, the dentist's office, the doctor's office, the chiropractor's offices. And I see I've been getting a growing trend of inquiries or requests about people that want to just do maybe just bigger accounts, industrial buildings, plants. I got a few questions about car dealerships. We do have a couple car dealerships that we clean. Um, just bigger, I guess, accounts, okay? Whether it's bigger office tower buildings or bigger, not skyscrapers, but just bigger accounts. So we do have some factories, right? Like this facility that we clean. This is just the same facility that we was at before. What I was doing in other videos is just a different area of the compound of the facility here. But this is actually a plant. Okay, it's a $1 billion company. We clean this. We actually have an office within the company. Some companies will allow you to do that, or will give you your designated area that you can kind of handle specific cleaning issues there. And then some companies won't. You just have to have your own office. We do have just a regular office, but some companies will allow certain designated spaces for you to clean. I mean, for you to handle your administration side, time cards, do payroll, whatever the case is, right? But let me jump right into it. I want to kind of be specific with this particular video because of the demand and the requests that I get for these type of accounts. If you're going into like schools, like plants, industrial buildings, or big office tower, I mean not towers, but office facility, like the biggest building that we clean right now and that we build pretty good on is a 5-story, it's a 5-floor, so I guess you would kind of consider that 5-story building, right? Really big building. When we first put it in the bid to get that particular account, I was kind of nervous about if I would be able to have the manpower to keep that facility clean, right? Because it's just so huge from front to back and it's 5 floors. So, I knew when I was going to get that particular account, right? Because once we signed, we already agreed to when they wanted us to start. So at that time, it was just a matter of me loading up the people to work there. So I always keep applications on deck. So I just kind of went through my folder of applications, got to calling people, doing some interviews, some background checks, etc., and also some drug tests. So once I lined the people up, I have 10 people working at that particular site. It's 5 floors, so I have 2 people on each floor. It is an evening account. The first time cleaning, it was a bit much because they had a cleaning company that they were unsatisfied with. So we had to come in and kind of see where they effed up, right? And then we had to correct that. So now we keep it on a regular basis, maintained, and now they're adding a day shift, or what they call a day porter, to this particular facility where they want a day shift and they want an evening shift. So that's coming up really, really soon. I'm going to say probably before the spring is up, we're going to be doing that, which would be more money because there's more man hours, right? So if you want a school, you can do schools, elementary, middle school, high schools, things of that, private schools. I say go for it. Now, how you charge for that, each building, each facility is different. So let me tell you how I did it in the beginning, right? Everybody that know me know I work from this estimation sheet, okay? So I have set prices designated for 1,000 to 3,000, 3,000, etc., right? So, but when you get down to facilities that's 10,000 square feet and plus, it's a different calculation of that, right? It usually kind of go by the square footage, okay? But I have a set system that I would not give out in terms of how I bid for those accounts or put that together. But I will tell you to help you out how I did it in the very beginning. In the very beginning, I did a little guesstimation, okay? And I bidded myself under a little bit, or a lot actually, with a few of those industrial buildings. I kind of underbidded myself a lot on those accounts because I didn't know any better. But after just cleaning them and still going attacking that particular market, going after those type of buildings, I kind of just found another way to kind of bid on that, right? So there's no set way to bid on it, right? So you can attack it from different angles, right? So one way that I used is I called up like a facility that was just as big as the one that I was. Well, no, I'm sorry. I called up a cleaner, and I act like I worked at the facility that I was going to actually be cleaning at. So once I got the intel from the facility manager or my contact person at that facility, the square footage, etc., then I just called another cleaning company. I said, hey, can you give me a roundabout figure? I'm sure you guys will have to come out to the facility to give me a direct figure, but can you give me a roundabout figure? I really need a cleaner to clean the building here. I am the manager here. I'm just doing some shopping right now. Would you be able to give me a quote over the phone? Surprisingly, which most don't, but surprisingly, they were able to give me a ballpark figure of where to start. Now you can try that that technique. It may or may not work because a lot of times commercial cleaning companies and even residential companies or maid services don't quote you over the phone because they actually have to look at the facility before they give you a price. So, but some veterans in the industry, they kind of know if you give them a square footage, they kind of know exactly where about they would charge you for that particular account or that particular facility. So I did that with 2 or 3 different companies. So I got 2 or 3 different quotes, right? So I kind of met myself in the middle, right? I had one that was really high, one that was on the low, one that was in the middle, and so I just kind of took the middle price, finagled the numbers a little bit, or played with the numbers a little bit, and I came up with a matching, a winning bid, winning contract, right? So you guys can do the exact same thing. That's how I kind of did to start it off. It was either that or I kind of guessed the job, right? Because the numbers that I was looking at on my estimation sheet from my Your Clean Future kit from the course that I bought, it only went up so high. But it also explained in the kit that buildings that's X, Y, and Z and higher was going to be maybe 25 cents per square foot, 30 cents. It just gave you different, scenarios for buildings that was, maybe 10, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 square feet and up. You're just going to bid those a lot different than bidding maybe 15, 2,000, 2,500 square foot building, right? So you guys want to kind of keep that in mind. If you have any further questions about that, if you're trying to attack that market, it's going to be hard. A lot of times you might undercut yourself if you're kind of guessing, because let's say you say, 1,500 to maintain whatever. I don't know, because I don't know. And then another thing you guys want to keep in mind is different areas have different pricing, right? So a 2,000 square foot price in Detroit, Michigan is going to be a lot different than a 2,000 square foot price in Nevada, right? So the same thing with the 20,000 square foot bid or estimate for Los Angeles is going to be different than a 20,000, 30,000 square foot in Chicago, right? So you guys definitely want to keep that in mind. You can go the second route I did, right? Or you can just look, kind of Google and see what your area, because they have those numbers on Google, see what your area going rate is for a facility, 20,000, 30,000 square foot, whatever it is you're trying to clean, right? If you got a 5-story building like myself, I went in, I was really trying to, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I got a message from Messenger, but I'm sorry. But anyway, if you guys want to stay on top of that, then what you should do, like I said, is you can go the guessing way, but you could cut yourself a little low, or you can kind of finesse other companies, if you will, to see if they'll quote you something over the phone. Some companies will. Just kind of depend on how you sound, what day you catch them on, that type of thing. Sometimes they'll be like, well, sir, we normally don't quote pricing over the phone, but you're looking at about such and such and such and such. And if you can get 3 companies to do that, like I did, you can kind of play with the numbers, because the numbers won't be too far from each other. Unless one company is just extremely high, you will find some company that's just ridiculous with pricing. Then you will find some companies that haven't been in the game long enough and they actually cutting real low. So I would say get the middle. If you can get a middle ground, get the middle. Play with that middle number a little bit. You don't want to have to necessarily be directly on the head of what that middle number is. You can go up a little bit or come down a little bit depending on you. But that's how I would price maybe a school, a 5-story building, or a office park building. That, you know, office park is these facilities that may have 2 or 3 floors, right? And then they have different companies in this facility, in this building. So it's a one big giant building, but they might have a dentist office over here. They might have a law firm over there. They might have a tax preparation service downstairs, whatever. So this is like an office park building. They got different companies within that one big building. Okay, so but whether it's a school, office park building, maybe 3, 4, 5-story building. Sometimes churches are really huge. What else? Dealerships. Dealerships is another thing that you somewhat difficult. I mean, it's an easy thing to clean because for the most part, that's hard surface flooring. So that's going to be a matter of mopping, kind of dusting and wipe downs, that type of thing, right? Unlike a lot of maybe doctor's offices or clinics that's mostly carpeted, or maybe like a dentist's office that's carpeted, or chiropractor that's carpeted, or even law firms, right? That's carpeted, right? So, but again, a lot of times they are smaller facilities. You're looking at like 22, 23, maybe 2,500 square feet, 15, 19, just kind of dependent on the area and just the size. That's relatively small, but this video is directed towards the people that's looking for maybe 10,000 square feet and up, or like an office park, a big compound church, or a 5-story building, or whatever. So if you guys want more information on that, I can give you more information on that at your request. But for the most part, that's how I would say to kind of start bidding or even going into those type of accounts. I'm Fabio Hart. The only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top is you.